Will we see the debut of the $60 million and rising top line tonight when the Utah Mammoth visit the Fortress? Yes, we can see, perhaps, Mitch Marner's first appearance at T-Mobile Arena, along with his line mates, Jack Eichel and Ivan Barbashev. And what was Bruce Cassidy hiding or preparing for, perhaps, yesterday when he shut down the middle session in camp? All of that ahead on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. We appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. Find us wherever you get your podcasts, and please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. I am a longtime sportscaster, marketing consultant, and the host of the Believe in Vegas podcast. Chris, the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports, and the host of the Hockey News Collectibles Show. Ahead on today's show, we'll be talking about this showdown game. Somebody's got to win, perhaps. VGK versus the Mammoth, and a concern over the lack of scoring. And now, don't forget that you can catch us each day, daily, on the Silver State Entertainment, Sports and Entertainment Network. Tune in 1 o'clock, Monday through Friday. SSSEN is the place, and you could do it on YouTube TV and Cox Cable Channel 125. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. Open up your account today. You could do it by going to FanDuel.com. Chris, the Golden Knights will be facing the Utah Mammoth at the Fortress tonight, and just when you think things might be bad for VGK, and they aren't, they are at 0-2 coming into the game. The Mammoth are not only winless in 3 games, they had 2 losses in one day. They played a double dip against Colorado in split squad action. You and I are of the belief, mostly you, that we could see the first appearance tonight of Mitch Marner, Mitchie, as they might call him, in front of the partisan crowd tonight. We could see him with his line mates in camp, Jack Eichel and Ivan Barbashev. Does this happen tonight?
I think so. If you look at the first 2 games, you had basically, they kind of keep going up the ladder, right? You had the fourth line, then you had the second and third line, and now today maybe you get the Eichel, Mitchie, and Barbie line, and maybe come back with the fourth line again. And then also we'll talk about the D pairings a little bit later, but also Theodore and Braden McNabb. But yeah, it's I guess tonight we find out who's going to shoot the puck, Tony. Who's going to shoot the puck?
Oh, my goodness. We'll get into that later. I found it rather odd yesterday. I don't know if you did as well, that the Golden Knights, they shut down the middle session yesterday at City National. So the 11:30 a.m. practice session was closed to the general public, and fans came out at 10 a.m. Some of them stay for all 3 sessions, and then they go, sorry, this will be closed, the middle session. And they sent the fans a packing. So it couldn't have been anything where they had something set up with an organization or what have you, because it happened rather abruptly. And maybe Cassidy didn't like the way the team was preparing. Who knows? Maybe they wanted to work more on special teams. Who knows? And maybe they needed to practice Marner ziplining from George McPhee's office down to the ice like they're going to be doing at the Fortress tonight. Who knows? But I found it rather peculiar, personally.
It's interesting, and it could be anything from, there could have been a private moment where, they were filming some type of content for a later date or something like that. There's a lot of things it could have been. I don't think this is necessarily anything game strategy or anything anything that the public didn't need to see. I don't know if it necessarily gets filed under that, but you do make a fair point in the sense that if there was something scheduled, it didn't just get scheduled the last few seconds. Maybe it did. It could have been. I don't know. But I don't think this is necessarily anything game related or strategy related or, oh my goodness, the Mammoth are going to see what the Golden Knights are doing on the power play in a preseason game.
Yeah. And what lines do you think the fans would like to see tonight, or what particular players, what young players? Tuomas Euronen, I think he was out on the ice yesterday a bunch from what I could gather, and hopefully we can see him. Will they bring back Jackson Hallam? And what about my man's Joe Fleming? Is he going to play in this game tonight?
I mean, if they're going to roll out Barbashev, Eichel, and Mitch Marner, you want Fleming out there for some protection, right?
Yeah, right.
That would be, I don't know. I mean, it's at the point now where it's the evaluation process is pretty much complete. The roster is, I mean, really, there's only one person that's being evaluated, I think, right now for a roster spot, and that's Alex Holtz. I think all the other situations will play themselves out before these players get returned to their respective teams, American League or everything else.
We'll talk about the defensemen coming up ahead, but I wanted to ask you if we will see Noah Hannafin perhaps reach the 30-minute mark in tonight's game.
I was shocked when I saw it was 26 minutes the other night, but in the same breath, it was 18 minutes of 5-on-5, and then the extra like 7 minutes and change wound up being special teams. So just one of those weird spots where there's a lot of special team circumstances, and that's where you really want to see the reps. Hannafin knows how to play 5-on-5 hockey, but really getting things clicking on the power play and, more importantly, the penalty kill.
Yeah, and speaking of the power play, a couple of things. Do we feel that there has been more focus and emphasis the past couple of days over what to do on the power play and on special teams? And then conversely, what if Mitch Marner's in the lineup tonight? Does he go to the quarterbacking position, which would be rather interesting? Were they practicing that?
Well,
Something
again,
was up.
I
just have a feeling. I'm sorry to harp on that, but I just think something was up yesterday.
No, and that's fine. That's okay. The question was if we do see the Eichel, Barbashev, Marner line, and then if we do see Theodore and McNabb, what does the power play look like? And without Dorofeev in the lineup and likely, no Mark Stone, Carlson, et cetera, you're going to see Theodore quarterbacking and Mitch Marner on one of the elbows. I would think that's how that would shake out.
Yeah, and yesterday there was no availability, right, for Coach Bruce Cassidy. That's a little bit of a surprise too. I thought for sure we'd hear from him, and most importantly, we do want an update on Pavel Dorofeev.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of questions right now, and I mean, I don't know, maybe this is getting a little far ahead. Maybe somebody was in town and they wanted to see how he looked wearing goaltender pads and
that's
shots
that is unbelievable because I was thinking perhaps the same thing.
I don't know. I have nothing.
They work out
nothing of
Carter
substance
Hart
to support that.
No, we have nothing at all. But I was thinking the same exact thing, that I felt that perhaps Carter Hart, who just what were those? We put out the intern on FIA yesterday, putting out a poll about whether or not the fans would like to see Carter Hart.
It was pretty split, right?
No.
It was split early. It was split
very early. And so here you go. How do VGK fans feel about the team's reported interest in goalie Carter Hart? One option, sign him. Second option, hard pass. With 466 votes reporting over 15 precincts. 83% said hard pass, 83 to 17% hard pass. And that's a pretty good number there of fans that were interested in replying on there, and a lot of comments anti-Carter Hart. So I was thinking the same thing. That's brilliant. That's really good. And it could happen. Sure. It could happen for sure. So
maybe, yeah. I mean, and back to the top line, it'll be interesting to see what things look like. Is that top line going to be zigging and zagging with the puck and cycling? Is there going to be more of a direct emphasis on getting quick shots and playing volume? And that's really what I'm interested to see. And we've talked about in the offseason Cassidy's new shoot first mentality and more shots to the net and a new offensive system. You might get a little taste of it tonight, assuming Barbashev, Eichel, and Mitch Marner take the ice, which
you're so excited for that. You're going tonight? Are you going?
Maybe. Obviously, things have changed a little bit the last couple of days, but the goal is to go, but it's 50-50.
Coming up next, a preview of VGK versus the Utah Mammoth. I got to get used to saying that nickname.
It does not roll off the tongue.
No, I'm having difficulties. And we'll talk about it next. So we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure that you are ready for kickoff for each and every game and cannot wait. Again, on Sunday, we've got Raider football action there at Allegiant Stadium, the Raiders and the Bears. And it's a nip and tuck back and forth line there. Raiders last check there was -1, a total of 48. And my man Golick says, hammer the over. And you can do it right now. New customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. You definitely like to use FanDuel because it fits however you like to bet. Of course, there's all of those outstanding prop bets, player props. You could build that same game parlay, and you can get into the action when you use the application for jumping into the live action as it unfolds. I was at Monday Night Football there at the South Point the other night, and just sitting there, the bartender back and forth, he's just putting in bets there, in-game totals, over, under, sides, everything. He had it all going on, and you can do the same thing there at FanDuel.
Unrelated, I'm a bartender.
It's quick, it's easy. You're on the other side of the bar, bro. And it's the best way to add a little bit more excitement and energy into your Sundays. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app today. And you can do it by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 wager. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting. We appreciate everyone tuning in wherever you might be. Of course, you can download our audio version there, and it's available wherever you get your podcast. Go to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe there and leave your wonderful comments, especially for me. And, of course, now on SSSEN Daily at 1 o'clock each and every day. Just thinking about this, man. It's kind of weird, right? We're in people's living rooms. Is that where they still watch TV? We're coming to you in your living room now. Okay, so the Golden Knights hosting Utah tonight at the Fortress, and the Mammoth are a team that's struggling early. They were swept in the twin bill in Denver this week. It's kind of funny, right? They played 2 games, a day-night doubleheader. But the big news now, Logan Cooley was injured in that game and did not return for Utah, taking a hard hit into the boards. And Colorado played veterans during the day-night doubleheader. Utah did not, and they lost by a combined score of 8-3. Look out for players like Daniil Boot, 6'6". He has a sweet-looking shot. I definitely like that, and we'll see him in action perhaps tonight. Taj Iglina. Why do I always
Taj Iginla, Jerome Iginla?
Yeah,
family.
I got it right. Why do I kind of always stumble on that? Maybe because it's Taj,
right? T-A-J?
T-I-J. First draft pick of Utah. They lost 6-1 against the Ducks, as well as Peter Mrazek turned away 14 of 15 shots. What do we expect from the Mammoth tonight?
Peter Mrazek, that's funny.
I had to give him a shout out. He got a shout out.
Yeah, the date is September 25th. That's actually my mom's birthday today, Tony. So
happy birthday, Mom.
We will see you in a few hours later on today. It's a few days, but we're doing well. All right, so a couple things here. Number one, you said Logan Cooley and that injury. This is an unfortunate injury that seems to happen, and you have players, and it's younger players more that do this than anyone. But younger players, when they see a player coming to check them into the boards or when they're in the corner, to protect themselves, they are turning their back, exposing their numbers to the player. And as a result, they're taking these hard hits into the corner. That's what happened to Logan Cooley, and it's unfortunate. He does have an injury and a very young, up-and-coming, potential superstar level type player. Mm-hmm. And now he's injured because he has to learn how to take a check.
It wasn't a tweak, was it?
It wasn't.
It looked like more than a tweak.
No. There's a lot of
Zakhar Bardakov.
Nick Hague has a tweak. Nick Hague's got an insane tweak.
Zakhar Bardakov is the player that checked him, into the board. So that is unfortunate, and you hate to see injuries. In the preseason. I can't wait till they shorten the stinking preseason. It's just 4 games next year, right? Because
I didn't look at what the number is, but 4 games is more than enough. Honestly.
I think it's enough. That's enough.
One dress rehearsal, Other games roll a couple players out here and there, give the rookies their shots and move on. I mean, the preseason is predetermined in a sense where there's not too many, and this is maybe the Vegas side of this, not necessarily the rest of the NHL, but the Vegas side, the roster's pretty much been set. There has not been a lot of roster competition. You had obviously Max Comtois trying to get on the roster a couple seasons ago. Now we have Alex
Where is
Holtz
Maxie?
mysteriously gets fired, and now he's back trying to get a deal with the team.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Holtzy.
It's just not working out. That's all. And so
yeah, and I don't think they have to
knew what
go
they were
through
doing when they traded him.
Well, why do they have to go through all of this to get the guys?
Because the
PTO?
Golden Knights believe in him to a degree.
I know they do, which I think is kind of crazy. And if the guy doesn't sign the offer sheet, see you later, bro. Like, why they bring him back on a PTO? So Shea Theodore, Brady McNabb, will we see those two in action tonight? And I believe that Ben Hutton needs a little bit more work in the preseason. What are your thoughts?
Going in reverse, Ben Hutton. Yeah, Coach Cassidy did mention that he played in limited reps last year, and they're trying to get him up to speed. So that's it's a good thing, especially I think Lazan's a little banged up right now. So we'll see if that opens the door for Hutton to start off on that third D pairing. And back to McNabb and Theodore. I mean, that's the line, right? That is that's the experience. That's the shutdown line. There's 2.5 minutes left in the game. You guys might be out there for 2 minutes of the last 2.5 minutes. Shut it down. And McNabb, no problem in that bill. Is Theodore that type of player? We're going to find out. Do they maybe put Hannafin out there and McNabb together in that circumstance at the end of the game? I'm curious to see how that balance happens. We know McNabb and Theodore are likely attached at the hip. They've been so since 2017, 2018. But in the dire minutes of a game, in the dire moments of the game, I don't know. And again, it's not a knock on Theodore's defensive ability. He's a puck-moving, mobile defenseman that's going to put up 50, 60, 65, even 70 points if he can have a fully healthy season, but he's not necessarily the shutdown player, and no one really is that Alex Pietrangelo was. So can Theodore continue to develop the defensive aspects of the game and that bumping and grinding in front of the crease? And can Theodore be that reliable player at the end of the game?
Well, if you put Shea Theodore and Brady McNabb into the lineup in this game tonight, are you putting too much emphasis on the veterans? Again, if as it goes, if we think it's
just
going
two
to
lines,
happen,
it's one D pairing and one forward line. That's it.
And then the rest, just whomever, right? A mishmash.
Probably, I think you probably see.
Braden Bowman. We got it. Oh, hey, don't forget about Braden Bowman.
We'll see. I mean, maybe Bowman.
Sure
Bowman's going to make the team and score 30 goals this year.
That's him. Yeah, and we do hope that Pavel Dorofeev is okay for a variety of reasons. Most importantly, I want to see him interviewed again. The guy's pretty good. Who goes in net tonight for VGK? So did they come back with Aiden Hill? Does he need more reps now? There's still, after tonight's game, as there's still like 4 games left, I think, right? I would start Lindbaum tonight.
Lindbaum and Beichman possibly could be those two, or Whitehead, something like that. Those three.
Whitehead's been the forgotten man.
I wouldn't mind seeing Lindbaum get the entire net tonight. I think
give him the net, right? Wouldn't that be good for him? I think build confidence, play in front of the partisan crowd. I think it would be pretty good.
Partisan crowd. No, it's not about building confidence. It's simply about getting those NHL reps.
You know how I get stuck on a word there. I think.
I know. Precincts reporting. Believe me, we're very, very political today. No, I would love to see Lindbaum and get him out there the entire game. The confidence, yes, but he's also someone that is in the running for not necessarily the backup position right now. And we've obviously shared a lot of thoughts about the backup position, so that could play out a number of different ways. But Lindbaum is probably the most important person besides Alex Holtz to looking to make an impression with Coach Cassidy and Kelly McCrimmon. So, I mean, I think we know Lindbaum can handle the workload, but if he goes out there and, only gives up 1 goal in a 1-0 losing effort, the way things have been going this preseason, that would be just fine for Lindbaum.
Even in the preseason.
Locks of the night, Tony. 1-0 Arizona. Lock it in.
Even in the preseason, we find the riggedness. This is the first of a back-to-back for VGK. Friday night, they go to San Jose. So he's
Did Arizona have a back-to-back even with the split squad too? I think they did.
You mean
I think they
Utah.
did.
I think you meant Utah. But
Whatever. I say
okay.
Arizona.
Yeah, you sure did.
Dollar
Coming up
Sturgeon.
next, should VGK and its fans be concerned about the lack of scoring in the preseason so far? Meh. Next on Locked On Golden Knights. Back on Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas, Tony Kradasco. I threw my first Mav the preseason out there. We appreciate you making us your first listen.
Your first what, man?
Meh. You text me meh. You text meh a lot.
Because half of the stuff you say is meh.
I know you do. I know, back and forth.
3/4.
We appreciate you tuning in. As always, please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We're still on there. Of course, you could still download the potty. You could download sorry, man. It goes off the rails. You could download the podcast daily. And of course, SSSEN on TV in your living rooms daily at 1 o'clock here in Vegas, and statewide too, statewide. So folks, let's just lighten up because the goals are going to come. Oh, it's been 150 minutes and they haven't scored. Who cares? Like, seriously, shoot the puck. They're like screaming and shouting. And of course, on social media, how come they're not shooting more? You know, it's been 2 years now since the Golden Knights have scored. And thank goodness for William Kamek. That streak ended on Tuesday night. If VGK continues to get 33 shots on goal, 33, count them, they are going to break through and score goals. Enough. It's just enough. You know, it's pretty good. That's pretty good for a preseason game, right?
I'll agree and disagree with half your statement there.
Okay, well, let me just finish. I think I have a little bit of an immaculate vibe going. I threw that in there too. So against Forsberg the other night, who was a goaltender that pretty much stood on his head. VGK, of course, very sloppy. And as I said, they need to work on their timing, the Golden Knights, and they need to work on putting the puck on net first. Just put it on net. And to me, most impressive, Chris, 12 shots on goal by the defensemen. So they're getting into the rush, and we're starting to see things develop. And if we would have seen yesterday in that closed practice, we would have seen them doing all these things. But of course, we were shut out. It was closed. But in any event, they're going to score. They're going to score. They're going to break through. It's stupid to even worry about this in the preseason, right?
I mean, I get the people on, and the reason this is a topic is if you do scroll up and down Twitter, people are talking about this and concerns. We'll call it an overreaction from the fan base. I'll certainly agree with that.
Overreaction.
33 shots on goal. I'll push back is not necessarily the recipe for winning hockey. We've seen the Pete DeBoer Golden Knights put on 40 plus shots and struggle to get 1 or 2 goals. So it's about the quality shots and things like that. What we're looking for in the preseason right now, the people who are slated to go to Henderson and other places, I don't care what they do, honestly. Kamek scored a goal. I don't care. Whoever Setoff had a terrible turnover in the last game, I don't care. Like, none of that's relevant. It doesn't matter right now. What does matter is when you do see the vets out there, if you see them having puck possession, sustained zone time, playing well on both sides of the ice. I didn't like some of the things Riley Smith did in the last game, but again, the vets will get a leash when it comes to working out the kinks and things like that. Am I worried about Riley Smith's responsibility with the puck when he's in Game 7 of the regular season? Of course not. So we're not going to make too much of a big deal about that. But tonight, if we do see Barbashev, Eichel, and Mitch Marner, how's their timing? How is their work in the neutral zone? Are they cycling? Are they passing? Are they just simply selling out and going low to high and not trying to get the puck into those plus areas and the dirty areas? Is Barbashev able to find the soft ice? Because, Marner and Eichel will command a ton of attention with or without the puck. Barbashev really needs to just keep his feet moving, for lack of a better term, and keep on looking for that open ice. He can go on either wing as far as positioning out there, a lot of cycling. And if the chemistry, again, we don't need to see them if they put up 4 goals on that line. Great. I don't think that's going to happen. But if they're getting quality time with the puck, I'm not even saying quality scoring chances, quality puck possession, everything's going to be just fine.
The alternate captain, Riley Smith, you like that? He's going to have to obviously play better, and he knew it. He was not like in his best mood after the game, and just was
He's
talking
never
about
in a good mood, to be fair, but keep going.
tightening up and supporting each other with the puck. So I think we'll see more of that tonight, and I think we'll see that line as well, right? With Riley Smith and William Karlsson and
That's probably tomorrow
Stone.
night, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll see them play again, and I think we'll see Karlsson player of the game again, -1. VGK had those 4 power play opportunities. I can't let things go here. 4 power play chances, and I like the fact that they had 10 shots on goal. Yes, it's the timing. Timing matters.
I hope there's 4 or 5 power plays tonight for BGK. That'd be great.
I think that's pretty good, right? And you said off season they need to get more opportunities because they were so successful last year. Yes, they need to create something there to get into the box, get the opponent into the box, get the man advantage. How do you think they played 5v5, the Golden Knights, the other night?
They only gave up 1 even strength goal where they were late getting back, and the other one was technically an even strength goal. That was the White Cloud hurdle board play. That was I believe a power play goal, and the other one was right after the power play, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, whatever. It's preseason hockey. Like we're watching individual lines, I guess, in their 5v5 play. And as long as the Mark Stone line and Karlsson line was doing fine, then I don't care about anything else as far as how it's going. But like I said, tonight, see what the puck possession looks like when that, I don't think it's a $60 million line. It's going to be about a $32 million line if Eichel gets his go. It might be 60. Who knows the way things are going.
It might be 80 by the end of tonight.
It might be 80 by the end of this podcast, Tony. Let me go
By
on
the end
Twitter
of
and
the
make sure the
podcast.
next minute nothing's been announced.
No, the dominoes haven't begun to fall yet. It's so interesting watching what's happening in free agency and stuff. And I think it would be a lot of fun if we get a chance to see that line operate tonight. You're excited about that, huh?
I see a thing on Twitter. The first word that describes when you see the Raiders O-line, it's like a word search, and the word weak is the first thing that everyone is seeing.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Jackson Power Johnson.
You might ask me a question a second ago, but that caught my interest as I was trying to find news today. All right, get us out of here.
We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers, especially the fine folks from Singapore and other parts unknown. We'll be back tomorrow.
Tony, Shanghai.
WTF is our day tomorrow. For my man, Chris Golick, Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.